how things wrapped up in Parliament this afternoon. Today, the ad hoc committee interrogating COP Alex Mensah has been seeking verification to comments he made before the committee yesterday. Today, the Commissioner of Police continued his onslaught on the leadership capacity of George Akuffo-Dampare, describing him as the worst Inspector General of Police in Ghana. He further accused the IGP of shutting the mouths of every police officer, including the Public Affairs Department of the service. And contrary to speculation that COP Alex Mensah on his own visited the key witness, Bugri Nabu, he actually said he was invited, having got the impression that Bugri Nabu was scouting for a new IGP. This and more has been revealed in this afternoon's interrogation. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to The Pulse. We've been watching with you as this drama has been unfolding in Parliament. Let's do some analysis of it. Security analyst Adam Bonaa joins us via Zoom. Mr. Bonaa, I know you've had yet another eventful afternoon watching events transpire in this ad hoc committee sitting. Tell us your preliminary thoughts.
My initial thoughts, I will tell you that today has been very eventful, and you can see the testimony of COP Alex Mensah flip-flopping. And if you ask me, I would say his counsel didn't do a good job. Because when they gave them the break to go and somehow say he's not a member of the MPP, but seemed to have suggested when they led him to a certain line of questions, if that would be true, that the IGP is a sympathizer of the NDC, he says yes. Then I said, okay, then they told him that if that is the case, then you are a member of the IG, a member of the MPP. I think he just needed to accept that that is the case. And you can see a lot of inconsistencies, things he said yesterday. Somehow today he seemed to have forgotten. He actually answered yes to these things, but today he said no, he didn't. And when they told him that you swore an oath yesterday, and you had Atacha beginning to warn him to be very careful because the angle he's moving to is criminal. If he's cited for perjury, that would move this particular issue to another realm. Over there, I think a bit of panic set in, so he needed to sit up together with his counsel and try to be forthright with the committee. And so as far as I'm concerned, I think that today very eventful, and I must admit the questions that were put to him, you can see he just couldn't answer them the way one was expecting, and it's good it was televised so that the discerning general public would deduct from whatever he's saying. I just think that today's the interrogation, they pinned him down to most of the things which he ended up agreeing. And the CI, 76, 80, section 80, 83 or so, somewhere over there, is a major offense to be seen publicly, to be, embroiled in, a political controversy. And he seemed to have said, he admitted. And so this is how serious this whole tape is ending up becoming. This is how serious it's becoming. And I just think that his counsel could have done a bit better by guiding him. But unfortunately, he was led into admitting to almost all the things which, these things are caught on tape, which he admitted to, Kojo.
Now, just to clarify, regarding the question of engaging in politically controversial activities, he actually responded by saying politically controversial activities are subject to interpretation, and that he didn't believe that his actions were met that interpretation. But another thing I observed today was that all the way through, since yesterday, this particular witness has insisted that the IGP is the worst IGP ever. Yesterday he said the IGP is not correct. Today he said he's the worst IGP in Ghana. But he was yet to present any particular reason in terms of the technical work of being an IGP. Everything he has said so far as an explanation of why he felt that Dr. Dampare was the worst IGP was a political reason. What do you make of that?
Correct. Very unfortunate, Kojo. Very, 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 very unfortunate. This disgraced COP, unfortunately, this thing that has come up, for me, is a big disgrace to him and probably all senior police officers and security officers in this country. Because then the guy who is supposed to be superintendent over our elections is claiming to be affiliating to a political party and alleging that he is a member of a political party, and comes to say the person is not correct. And yet, in one breath, he says that he's been lobbying to be the IGP since 2017. And somehow, I even called some, he actually indicted the IGPs before 2016 elections. Al-Hassan, IGP Al-Hassan, and Kudalo. And when it was put to him, he was very evasive. When he said that appointments are actually done through political lines. And they told him that, so between, Al-Hassan and Kudalo, is he saying everything that was done was political? He was very evasive. And they told him, within 2 years, you had a jump from Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP, to, Commissioner of Police. And with that one, he said he merited it. And so when it suits him, he agrees. So you can see the political angle he told. Even members of the MPP themselves don't agree with him. But unfortunately, he was probably so interested in becoming the IGP before he goes on retirement, so much so that he decided to do the unthinkable, saying all manner of things that, as they put to him, he could not come clear, apart from saying, the man has destroyed the police. The man is not correct. Then when they asked him, if you say the man has destroyed the police, the man is not correct. And everything you answered today seemed to be pointing to a certain political angle. You can see how vindictive, how bitter he is, how, angry he is, and how peeved he is. They asked him, you said the IGP was born in Chebi, but the father also is from Krobo, and the mother also is from Uti. The last time I checked, Ghana is a unitary state. It doesn't matter me. I'm from DBI. It's in the Upper West region. But I grew up in Kema. It doesn't matter where you were born. Once you are qualified, you will be appointed. The Minister of Interior is from the Upper West, from Nandon. The Minister of Roads is from the Eastern region. And so my point is that when you are qualified and a political head wants to appoint you, he would appoint you. But you can see everything he did was pushing the political angle to get him become IGP. And he crowned it by saying, once I am appointed, I would help break the 8. Very unfortunate. Sweeping statements, comments, and he admitted to most of these things, under oath. And so, Kojo, as far as I'm concerned, this will not pass for the ordinary gossip officers would undertake before, you have to lobby to get the job. But to go to this extent of trying to say, give it to me, and predicting things that will happen. And they asked him, Ayawasu Westwagon, you were the Director General of the Ghana, police operations, Ghana Police Service. He said, yes. Then they asked him, were you involved in that elections? He said no, but he was part of the thinkers, strategic thinkers. And so you see, when it suits him, he says yes. When it doesn't suit him, he says no. He begins to give reasons. And so I think that he accepted or he admitted, I don't know, I have no idea, I'm not a police officer. But he said the police is divided sharply into two, NDC police officers or MPP police officers and NDC police officers. So my point is that, I don't know, because I know Kudalo actually transitioned Nana Akufo-Addo, President Nana Akufo-Addo, from a flag bearer to the president of the Republic in 2025 with the largest votes in our history since 1992, almost 1 million. And so you can see how bitter, how angry, and, he's saying that something is, something that it's right. It has not been given to him because everything is said. I'm sure right thinking when you monitor, a comment from social media, you know that we have a discerning Ghanaians who are reading in between the lines. And, some political commentators who have spoken to me today, in fact, on the side of MPP, feel disgusted about the things they heard him say today. And so for me, I think that this is not very good for a senior citizen like him. This is not very good for someone who spent 31 years or so in the Ghana Police Service. And so he didn't have any business to do in the police service. I think he should have actually resigned long ago to probably contest for an election at the regional level, national level, or maybe be an MP, because even with this, such a person, can you imagine if Nana Akufo-Addo thinks like him? Then I'll tell you that there will never be any development in my area, because the MP from my area is an NDC MP. Where I reside in Accra, it's also an NDC MP. It means that we would only develop this country on party lines, which I think is very unfortunate. It doesn't occur well for 2024 elections. If what he's saying is anything to go by, we know Gabon has happened. And Gabon, it is security officials who, superintended over the elections. And when things became chaotic, they took over the administration of the state and actually have put the Ali Bongo, under some form of detention. So we need to be very wary of such characters in the service, because if we are not careful and they throw this country into chaos, quickly they would metamorphose into leaders and say, well, the politicians have done A, B, C, D. Maybe if this tape didn't come out, 2024, we don't know what would have happened. And so, Kojo, I have to be honest with you, I am disgusted listening to this senior, citizen and a senior police officer speaking, saying all these things. Somebody is not correct. You are correct, yet you are so political when your service regulation requires you to stay away from these things. Stay away. You can vote for NDC MPP, but stay away from them. And you clearly said, well, he said that is an interpretation. Anyway, so could you?
Yesterday there was a conversation between my colleague MFR Pau and a former CID boss who actually said, look, in the midst of all this, let's not completely gloss over everything that is said by this witness. COP Mensah might be in some ways exposing rot in the police service. Putting aside the aspects of his testimony that you found distasteful, do you see a possibility that he's actually revealing some problems that need to be resolved in the police service?
Well, I would have wished that he will tell us that maybe the general public, at least he should have given us some pointers that the Ghana Police Service are aiding criminals to steal from us. You know what, Kojo? Listen, for me, as a citizen and a tax-paying citizen of this country, what I expect the Ghana Police to do is to fight criminals. Whatever it takes, even if it is 4 or 5 of them who would make sure when I sleep, I sleep. That is what I am interested in. And so as far as I'm concerned, when I hear there might be some rot, well, like I'm saying, if they are rot, you should have told us that, you see, officers who are sent on duty then go. Citizens, you see, when you tell me that crime levels are rising because when officers are sent, they don't go, I can connect as a citizen because I'm not a police officer. I will know. When you tell me that these days people are jumping traffic light left and right, people are putting their sirens and hazard lights on and going, and nobody is minding them, police officers are doing, they don't care, then I would be able to. I tell you what, me, a week ago, I was arrested by the police just around airport. I was arrested by, one of the constables on the motor. He followed me because there was a car nearly ran into me at the traffic light and I moved. But once I moved, I know the new police we have, they will follow you. So I parked. Then he came, he dealt with me. It doesn't matter. So mine is like, you can see, when they asked him about, what's the name? Political party people, they are arresting our party people. He said, yes. Then they asked him, are you aware Sosu was arrested? He only remembered when Sosu, there was a demonstration and they were looking for him and there was a warrant for his arrest. But he forgot that Sosu was taken to court. Still, what do you call it? The deputy minister of, what's the name? Trade, was taken to court. The Suparu, one of the Sisala MPs, was also taken to court on the side of the NDC. Today, when you go into town, which some of us appreciate so much, Okada riders are stopping at traffic lights. It doesn't matter if you drive the best Land Cruiser or the best car in town, you must obey because the smallest police officer, the lowest ranked police officer would arrest you and take you and make sure you are prosecuted. This is not the Ghana we want when it comes to law enforcement. So mine is that I'm not discounting there will be a rot. And what I am saying is that he should have given us some headers, some pointers. Like, you know what, this is happening here, that is up. But everything he has said seems to be connected to politics.
Well, he did give one particular instance, which is a thing that has come up in the past. Since this particular IGP took over, he has completely stopped the public relations aspect of policing and replaced it with the release of statements and their own TV channel. Rather than granting interviews, providing information, answering the questions of the public they serve, the information has now become one way from the police to the public as and when they feel that they should speak. And he talked about this in his testimony. How do you assess this? Is this an improvement in police service or not?
Well, you see, this issue about communication and dealing with the media, some of us have spoken about it, and some of us feel if there is a reason why the police in general is not engaging the media, it is incumbent on GJA, and the other, those who bring the media houses together to probably have a conversation and let us know why. But the truth is that your media house Joy News TV have engaged me on this, and I shared my opinion that I think that rather than press releases, it will be good to have some, occasional briefings if it's weekly, or if there's a major issue, the press is called and there is briefing. That I agree is something that we are aware of. As for that, if you ask me, I will tell you that the media in general has spoken about this. We are all aware of this, but it is not something that I will say that we are not aware of. It's something we are aware of, and we have asked that there should be an improvement with regards to how their PR section deals with the media. I am aware they have a TV station which broadcasts. I have not really tuned in. I don't know which, and I haven't tuned in to know what is going on there. But I'm aware. I've seen excerpts of it on social media, but I haven't tuned in, and I'm not sure which of the spaces they are. But mine is that it is important for the general public to be informed, because then The media will be able to break this thing down with it, at the smallest, minutest, stage, so that in various languages, these things can be articulated. So it's something that needs to be looked at. But what I'm saying is that alone, if you ask me, it's something we know. I would have wanted to know that, like I'm saying, officers, there was a question they asked him about promotions. And he says now, the promotions is not based on promotions. It's not, I don't know whether I got him right. Correct me if I'm wrong. That promotions are not now based on, are now based on merit or academics. They are not based on something. And I thought that, okay, so these are, and he actually said some 82 officers have gone to court. And they asked him, have you ever challenged something at POMAP? He was, not very, he said, I said it. Can we, and they called, can we go for the minutes? I don't remember, the answers. And mine is that even answers he gave yesterday, today he said it's forgotten. He doesn't remember. And they told him, we need to play the tape. So sit up. So mine is that I think he should have been very candid. He looked very confused. He looked very, under pressure. And it didn't help him. He looked very confused. And you could see his demeanor that at a point, he was helpless. After they were given the transcribed version of the audio, and they asked him to go and take areas that he thought he agrees and areas he doesn't agree. Yeah. He attempted to change the transcription, and they told him that, no, this is what you said. You didn't, what you said was MPP and not NDC. But right. I would want us not to make it MPP, NDC, because it's not supposed to be in the security services. So if there is something that we need to know, which he failed, apart from what you alluded to, the media something, although it's something that is no secret, we know. When you hear of police now arresting everybody, me, like I'm telling you, just last week, they arrested me. They followed, once I crossed, I told myself that 10 out of 10, they would chase me. So I didn't go. The moment I crossed, I parked. And when he came, I told him, yes, I am guilty simpliciter. You know the circumstances. I accepted, because this time around, you cannot put in a call to some commissioner of police, or you can't call anybody once they arrest you. And that is the norm today. Is that not what we want? So mine is that when I hear there is rot, there is this, you want to know. And you see, change is very difficult. I mean, those of us who know about this, once you try to bring change, a lot of things could come at your way. And I think that if you ask me, with the fact that even Okada riders are stopping and things are going on, police officers are not sleeping on the job. I mean, I went to the police headquarters many years ago before this IG became police IGP. Because you go and police officers are sitting there playing spa and dummy. And I used to complain to your media, they are playing spa and dummy. Today, if you go there, the last time I passed in front, you see officers standing and checking even entrance into the police headquarters. When you have to enter, the way that you will have to check you. So me, I tell people I don't have to actually, because they will check you and those things were not there. So change sometimes, you will ruffle feathers. And so mine is Akojo. I think that let's take a lot of the things he said with a pinch of salt and say that hopefully next week they'll bring him back. Let's listen to. I'm sure they'll bring him back again and bring Bugri Banabu. And I'm hoping that they'll bring the IGP himself to come and tell the general public. He should come and address us. He should tell Ghanaians, because go on social media. Ghanaians say the man is doing well. So it is ironic that you have one person saying that the man is not doing well. One person saying the man is not doing well.
Let me ask you this, because we only have a couple of minutes to go, and I'd love your opinion on this particular part of his testimony. Getting to the end, where he said that he believes it was the IGP who actually recorded the meeting and leaked the tape. Your thoughts?
Oh, but the witness in chief is Bugri Nabu. The witness in chief is Bugri Nabu. Bugri Nabu has already come to tell us that he went to Accra Mall. I'm sure you monitored it, Kojo. He said, I went to Accra Mall and bought a tape recorder, gave it to my boys or somebody, to do the recording for me. Here we are. Like I said, I think he's so bent on maybe the IGP, excuse me to say, never chased this girl. Because even when Bugri Nabu, who is purported, who is not even alleged, Bugri Nabu now says, I recorded it. It is my voice. And named the people who in the audio came out to say, I recorded it. Yesterday, when they asked the COP Mensah, what he said was that this was done by Bugri Nabu and passed on to the president. Today, he's changed goalposts and said, the IGP did it. So you can see the trend of events.
Yeah.
It comes to the IGP would have to be the center. Even when the guy who did the recording says, I did it. If you bring the IGP, unless you can show.
Yeah, I've got to cut in at this point. I apologize. Our time is up, but I certainly appreciate your take on that. Adam Bonaa is a security analyst. Thank you so much for your time with us. All right, this is The Pulse. We've got more running stories coming your way after these messages.